Good morning, distinguished members of BRISTOW Alumni Association gathered here today. Before I formally welcome you to the first convention of this present bar leadership led by Otamen Mans Denga, the chief servant, permit me to establish this protocol on which subsequent speakers will stand on. The President, NKC Synod, Reverend D.Z. Anza, J.P., the Secretary, NKC Education Department, Reverend Moses Akem, the Chairman, Board of Governors of WM Bristol Secondary School, Boko, the Principal of Bristol Secondary School, Boko, Mr. Azo Jen, and the staff of the college, the Chairman, Parents Teacher Association, PTA, Dr. Kyolinka, the Chairman, Board of Trustees, BOT or BA, Engineer Chief Isaiah A. Baja, the College of Past President, the BA President, Chief Servant, Otame Mans Denga, the BA branches, or the BA branch chairman, the BA chapters chairman, the sales coordinators. On this note, I wish to warmly welcome you all to this year's National Convention in the name of our Lord Christ Jesus. May I end this welcome address on behalf of the CP members this way. Don't forget, we are human. Our best plans may not be the best in the eyes of some, but whatever you find good, please remember that one and forget what you ought to forget. Sewin Hills has quoted one writer as saying, one of the biggest problems we struggle with in humanity is that we too easily forget what we ought to remember and remember what we ought to forget. May it not be so with us in BA. Happy convention. Thank you all for coming. God bless you.
President and ESCO, Bristol Alumni Association, Chairman and members of Board of Trustees of this great association, College of Past Presidents, Branch Chairman and ESCO, SET coordinators, CPC Chairman and members of the Convention Committee, distinguished members of BA here present, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to appreciate the Almighty God for His faithfulness, mercies, and love that He has continually showered on us. I also appreciate Him for the opportunity to be part of this year's convention. On behalf of the management, staff, students, and the entire Bristol community, I wish to warmly welcome all of you to our school for this event. The school, which was founded over 60 years ago, has educated many generations of young, godly intellectuals, which you are part of. It is a school rich in tradition and talents handed down to us through the dedication and vision of our predecessors, which continue to inspire us today. To the above extent, I wish to seize this opportunity to brief you on issues bordering on school life. Staff strength. Our staff strength today stands at 133 staff, comprising of 46 TSB teaching and 3 TSB non-teaching, that is about 49 government staff, 39 PTA teaching and 45 non-teaching staff, as well as 2 NKC staff who are the chaplains that are instilling morals in the students. Student enrollment. Our school population stood at 1,128, comprising of 658 boys and 470 girls. We have 26 classrooms, which comprise of 5 streams each in the junior section, and 4 streams in SS1 and 2, as well as 3 streams in the SS3 class. Academic performance in external examinations in 2020-2021 session. Staff and students continuously strive for improvement in academic excellence, and this makes the school a most sought after by parents and guardians for their children or world secondary education. The result analysis of the 2021 external exams shows that our students obtained an average performance of 95.9% in BEC, 97.4% in NECO SSC, and 86.5% in WAS SSC. I'm glad to state that we have a proud tradition of academic excellence, which gives a true reflection of our students' performance as they are able to defend what they have wherever they find themselves in tertiary institutions of learning and workplaces. Competitions and excursions. We have continued to give our students opportunities of exposure to excursions where they gain practical knowledge of what they have been taught in class. We have also attended quiz/project competitions, as well as participated in sports competitions. God has always blessed our outings with excellent results. 1, our school emerged first position in the 2021 intra-local government all secondary schools games competition in the whole of Boko local government area. We also emerged first position in the 2021 all NKC secondary school games held at Adikwo. Spelling bee and quiz competition organized by Ultimate Education Forum. The school took first position in mathematics and English competition. We also got overall best and second overall best participants in the same competition, and third position in the spelling bee competition. 2 students represented the school at the state finals of the Royal Boom Mathematics competition. 6 students performed excellently in the junior and senior categories of Mathematics Olympiad competition at the local government level. We still have one. Last week, one of our students in JSS3 went for an MTN lawn tennis youth championship tournament in Lagos, and he emerged first position, having a trophy and a gold medal. His name is Kate Boom. Projects and policies. Since we took over the affairs of the school, we have been trying to contribute our quota in whichever way possible to ensure that we uphold the vision of the school, as well as maintain discipline among students. Consequently, we have carried out renovations on some buildings and some construction work and implemented policies that will instill discipline in our students. Admission policy. Our school has a policy of admitting learners only in JSS 1. This is because research revealed that students admitted from other schools into the school were found out to be with some kind of uncouth behavior, which is alien to the Bristol culture. Thereby infiltrates the student community. Consequently, we wish to call on all BAA members wishing to enroll their children into the school to please follow the enrollment schedule. Sale of forms normally commences from March every year. March to May and in May or June, the common entrance is taken. Like this year, we took the common entrance exam June 4th, and today we are writing the interview July 2nd. The interview too is written. We are saying this to appeal to us so that we resist the temptation of bringing undue pressure on the management concerning admission issues. Please. Donations. Between last academic session and the current one, we received various donations as shown below. 1, bar 72, 22 benches for the dining hall. 2, extension of dining hall. It was a joint project with BAA, the school, NKC Education Office, and the PTA. 3, PTA, extension of sick bay, construction of 4 apartment restrooms at the school gate, and construction of reception hall to be used as a check-in point for returning students. 4, bar set 81, renovation of chemistry and physics laboratories, and a brand new 18-seater bus, as well as bar set 81, the star set also donated a plasma television and a stabilizer to be installed in the hall here. It was brought in just yesterday. We appreciate them so very much. 5, bar set 91, a block of 6 restrooms for girls in the school. It's over there. 6, bar set 71, 100,000 naira for the installation of ceiling fans in the newly renovated physics laboratories. We have done that already. 7, bar set 2011, installed an overhead tank in the girls' hostel. 8, Dr. Nwafo Kudili, bar set 91, instituted a 20,000 cash award for the best graduating science student for a period of 5 years. 9, Benue State government donated 50 plastic tables and chairs to the school. 10, Face of TV International, 40, donated exercise books and jotters to some of our learners. Mr. Avalomo Hungwa, bar set 99, wired and installed security light at the staff security gatehouse. Bar set 82, installation of 7 solar-powered street lights in the boys and girls hostels. Bar set 86, planting of 300 stands of oil palm trees on the school. Bar set 92, construction of overhead tank in girls hostel, as well as planting of ornamental trees along this path leading to the dining hall. Mr. Teso Ayaka is not a bar member, but provided restroom stickers for the PTA project at the school gate, indicating male and female. Bar set 79, procurement and installation of PA system, public address system in the hall, and an outdoor public address system too. It's part of what we are using now. It was just brought in this week. Maybe the president will be commissioning it later. I wish to sincerely express my gratitude to our donors for these gifts, which have developed our school in no small measure. May the Lord replenish them all. Challenges, stroke problems. Will not bother you much, but I will just mention 2. 1, poor payment of fees, which has seriously affected the day-to-day running of the school. Some parents have often run to us for concession to defer fees payment, which we often grant, but they tend to betray this trust. Consequently, we are seriously having a rethink about giving concession to parents. 2, high monthly wage bill of PTA staff of up to over 1 million every month. We shall be glad if the government absorbs them into the civil service. The bills keep increasing because the employment of additional teachers to fill the vacancies created by teachers who retired. By this, the school is constrained to carry out projects that have direct bearing on the school or the students. You know, the school is old, and even maintenance work always have one repair work or the other every day. Tidbits. 1, bereavements. We lost our HOD Sciences, Mr. M.T. Anawoku. He was buried in December last year. We lost our immediate past principal, Mrs. B.K. Ohumba. She was buried this January. We also lost our long-serving clerical staff, Mr. Matthew Odueng Bakev. He was also buried sometimes in March this year. One of our staff, Pastor Edward Tiatse, also lost his wife. He's also a BAA member and is teaching with us here. Retirement. Mrs. C.M. Hyungu and Mr. P.D. Liame retired from the Benue State Civil Service. They have, however, been re-engaged by the school as PTA staff because we need their services. Conclusion. On behalf of the Bristol community, I wish to appreciate all of you for coming, and we pray that you have fruitful deliberations. God bless you all.
Bristol is one family, and in a family, we may not all see the same way to every issue, but the blood that runs through the family members is what keeps the family unit together. So always we should remember that we are one family. In a family, you have hierarchy. You have the parents, you have the children. The parents, you have the father, the mother, and then amongst the children, you have the seniors and the juniors. So if we always remember that we are one family, even when we disagree, we will know that that blood that runs through us, called BAA, and the fear of God and the service to humanity should override our ego or personal wishes and interests. Every past president has made their mark. I will make my mark. I will move on. People will come up. They will do greater exploits than hitherto seen. But BAA will be the beneficiary. And the culture of BAA, that we respect our elders, our seniors, constituted authority, and we give back to BAA, will be sustained. So I want to comment that I have apologized before, but I will apologize again. For people who consider the notice of 3 weeks as short, I take the feedback very well. I take the responsibility for the notice if we consider it short, and we promise as ESCO to improve going forward with next year's convention. We will give adequate notice. When people have not responded enough by paying their dues, given their set allocations to this convention, they have said that, look, the notice was short. I know the times are not easy for any of us. When the principal was talking and he mentioned the fact that people are not paying school fees regularly. I mean, how would you pay school fees regularly when the parents are not being paid salaries regularly, when the pensioners are not taking their pay as and when due? So these are societal issues, these are economic issues. We will need to live with them. Be that as it may, we have the board's approval to go ahead with this convention and look at the issues, including the issue that you threw back to us, to take a relook at our constitution. So we'll be shooting it here and taking guidance from the constitutional amendment team as led by the chairman of that function will be the chairman BOT, who would, just like they do in Parliament, be using the gavel to take our resolutions and move forward. I thank you for coming. It's not convenient for anyone to leave their family, travel all the way, come down to Boko, and I cannot compensate for that. I can only pray that God would keep you safe and replenish the resources that you have used to come here. I want to acknowledge individuals amongst you that have also dipped their hands in the pocket to support this process in spite of the short notice. We are very grateful. We call on you. You respond every time. The chairman of BA Abuja, I have never called on him and he has not responded. We are grateful. Boko branch did well. They hosted us to dinner. Makodi is giving us lunch today. ESCO will host the presidential dinner. So let's meet in a family atmosphere. Let's wish each other well, and let's leave this place without having achieved something for BA by moving, even if it's only a notch. Thank you very much, and God bless.
It is with pleasure and great appreciation to the Almighty God that I am welcoming you to BA 2022 Annual Convention. Today's address to you, my dear schoolmates, which is the second since I became your board chairman, will focus on advising you as a father does to his children. So please pay rapt attention and learn from old age and experience. This may sound as if I'm the oldest person here, but it definitely is not so, because my seniors are also here. So please consider it as a message I am sent to deliver to you. It's also quite true that it was my seniors that anointed me to hold this position on their behalf. Before I go further in this address, please permit me to commend these persons and group of persons. BA ESCO. In recent times, the current ESCO has been the best in all the areas of focus of our great association. They started by humbling themselves. They did this when they organized a BA retreat, showing all of us that they did not know it all, that they needed the help of all categories of our association, that is the BOT, College of Past Presidents, elders, and even juniors. The retreat helped them to start on a sound foundation. It was from here that all the committees emanated, be it the Daniel Committee, the Constitutional Review Committee, etc. This was a brilliant start, and I'm convinced that this crop of leaders will surely go far. Remember that the ESCO, led by Mans Denga, also known as Otama Manasseh Denga, solved some knotty problems for us with very much ease, as if there were not issues at all. Viz. Bar sale. They procured a new sale for us at the cost of hundreds of thousands of naira to replace the lost one. Registration of bar. 2 new BOT members and updating of our membership at CAC was done at the cost of over 1 million naira. It is to be noted with great appreciation that the ESCO conducted the retreat, procured the seal, registered our 2 new board members, and updated the association membership out of their pockets with no cost to the association. My dear alumni members, I sincerely lack words to appreciate these wonderful leaders. Sets that have returned to Bristol for their anniversary celebrations, creating a big impact in the school and bar with the projects done by such sets. The most recent ones were sets of 1982 and 1992, who celebrated their 40th and 30th years anniversary. They performed excellently. From the foregoing, it is clear that the National ESCO and the ESCOs of sets that have gone back to Bristol to give back what they received from the institution have shown great attributes of good leadership worthy of emulation. I therefore call on you all to support this wonderful National ESCO, to encourage them to perform even more for the upliftment of BAA to the glory of God. The Constitution. You already know that the Constitution of an organization is the soul of that body. When the Constitution is faulty, that institution is doomed to failure. This ESCO set up a committee of highly learned individuals and experienced BAA members who have gone through the past Constitution, sieved it, and came out with amendments. As experienced as they are humans, so they have shortcomings. Therefore, I call on all of you to carefully study the amendments and come out with a near-perfect document which we shall all be proud of. One of our sets, the class of 1995, headed by Amos Atindiga, I hope Atindiga is here, okay, made me very proud. These young people organized themselves into a formidable group. They built a strong family bond, and on 18th June 2022, launched a foundation known as Waseuka Foundation in honor of their deceased classmate. The foundation was conceived to step up the efforts they have been making in assisting their indigent classmates. I heard the laudable stories of their assistance to their fellow classmates, which included offering scholarships and even finding jobs for them. This is exactly what we should be doing to each other. These young people were not there when the man who bears the name of our institution visited the 2 sets in Lupe, that is sets of 1964 and 1965. But they are doing exactly what Bristow said to the pioneer students. The 2 things William Markle Bristow told them were to be, 1, the light of the world. 2, practice esprit de corps. The set 95 exemplified the 2 points our leader charged us. They have shown that they are the light of the world and that they are their brother's keepers. esprit de corps. General advice. As products of the Bureau Business School, we should always behave differently from the rest of the society. Even if we are called demeaning names, we should not relent. BA is one big family anchored on Christ Jesus, who was gentle, pure, and kind. Therefore, all alumni members should show respect for juniors, seniors, elders, and ancestors. Those of us in leadership positions should commit ourselves to selfless service and be humble. And those who have served BA in leadership positions should continue working for the association. Together, we should all support the new ESCO to succeed. Finally, I want to remind us, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of this great association, to remember our roots. The proprietor of our alma mater is NKHT, and we should always accord them the honor and respect they rightly deserve. On that note, I wish you very fruitful deliberations, and may the Almighty God be with you. Let's go, Bristow. The meeting for the review, adoption, and passage of the Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni Association 2022 will now come to order.
At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we shall hand over to the chairman of the Constitution Amendment Committee to give us a short speech. Barrister Tekogi, a round of applause for him.
Good morning, everybody. May I have the microphone indulgence to address the chairman of BOT and members of the BOT, the College of Past Presidents, the National ESCO, the President of the National ESCO, distinguished members of BRISTOW Alumni Association. This is my short speech. At the ascendancy of the present National ESCO of BA worldwide, the National President declared his desire to reposition the entire association and make it virile, effective, and relevant to the yearnings of all the members. At the first executive retreat, which was attended by members of the BOT, College of Presidents, distinguished members and selected members of the association and the National ESCO and branches, the president decided that he was going to inaugurate the Constitution Review Committee of the association. And the main reason why that became necessary was because we had found that the 2017 Constitution as well was not workable. It was difficult to apply it. Hence, there was a need to go over it and review it and see how it can be brought to become workable. It took us some time, mostly because we couldn't meet physically, because number one, there was the COVID-19 restrictions, which made it very difficult for people to meet physically. And secondly, because members were living all over in different towns, so to have a physical meeting was very difficult. However, we got inputs from branches and the individuals and concerned members who made suggestions into what should be done to make the Constitution workable. We have not enacted a new Constitution, but merely looked at the existing 2017 document and pointed out which areas we feel, if necessary, to recast, redraft, reshape, and so that the Constitution will be more and easily applicable and workable. This is not, this is to our mind, a working document, which, if approved, will be useful to the drafters of the new Constitution. We have not enacted a new Constitution. We have brought a document for you to look at and debate, discuss, and approve, so that when the new Constitution comes, it will embody your suggestions and your views. At this point, I thank you all and wish you a happy discussion and diligent review and articulate contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman of the Constitution Amendment and Review Committee. We shall proceed to the next stage. Our association is registered under the Company and Allied Matters Act. Very recently, our president was able to dig through the long history and come up with a certificate of registration. So we are now fully covered. Though we were registered before, but certain documents were missing. And for many years, we had not made any returns to the CAC as required by the Constitution. But through the efforts of our president, the long and difficult fees were paid. The president ensured that from his own largesse and kind heart, about 500,000 naira was expended in payment of a backlog of dues that are owed the Corporate Affairs Commission. And currently, I'm happy to announce that we have a certificate of registration from the Corporate Affairs Commission, which dates back to the historical formation of our association. So we thank the President and his ESCO for that effort, but particularly the President. For a constitutional review consideration such as this, there must be rules to be followed. Our rules are tailored in accordance with the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020, which is the governing law that guides companies as well as board of trustees and associations such as ours. So the rules we're about to follow are tailored along the lines of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020. The rules are as follows. The Constitutional Amendment Committee shall table the topical issues of the new Constitution. The issues are going to be projected on the screen for all to see. And what we're going to do is that we're going to go article by article, from the beginning to the end. What we're going to start with is for a motion. We're going to do this through the process of motions, resolutions, and each item will be voted on. My humble self will guide the process. Voting shall be. This is what Section 224 of the Company and Allied Matters provides for. By simple show of hands, we'll count. Where it does appear that the vote is tight, we cannot distinguish. The chairman of the Board of Trustees may call for a division. A division occurs where it is not very clear as to what the voting pattern is, in which case, physically, the chairman may decide that there are two sides of the aisle, the yes side and the no side, ye, nay, and ask members physically to move from one side to the other. The chairman alternatively may call for a poll. What does a poll entail? It simply entails having two boxes with a yes and no vote. Ballots will be circulated if it comes to that, and each member will indicate which article. They are designed such that you can we are going to indicate which article we're voting on. And you simply, each member of the General Assembly will simply tick yes or no and drop it in a box. At the end of the day, we will ascertain the numbers. Should there be a tie, the Chairman Board of Trustees has the deciding vote. At this juncture, I would like to point out an egregious omission which was made in the 2017 Constitution. And I want us to be properly guided. Under Section 8 of the 2017 Constitution, the General Assembly, which is the highest legislative and policy-making body, was omitted. It was an egregious, inadvertent omission. Now, the essence of that is that though the General Assembly is mentioned in other parts of that Constitution, it is not vested with the authority that it has to conduct this review. In this wise, the Constitution Amendment Committee is proposing an amendment to Section 8 of the 2017 Constitution so that the General Assembly shall be included as the principal organ for the legislative and policy-making body of this association. If the vote should pass, it means that the General Assembly is empowered to consider the current 2022 Constitution arising from the 2017 Constitution. I hope it is understood. Without further ado, I'll call upon the chairman of the Board of Trustees to instruct us to put the question to the General Assembly.
Has the General Assembly of BRISTOW Alumni Association resolved to amend Article 8 of the Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni Association as amended 2017 to unequivocally include the General Assembly as an organ of BRISTOW Alumni Association with the powers of carrying out legislative and oversight functions of BRISTOW Alumni Association?
Yeah, if I may reiterate, what we're trying to do is this. We're trying to correct the anomaly in the 2017 Constitution, which did not mention the General Assembly as the highest decision-making body for this association. For us to preside over this, we have to correct that anomaly. Are we in agreement that the General Assembly is the highest decision-making body for this association to enable us to sit over this Constitution? Can we have a discourage, sir?
The amendment of Article 8 of the Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni Association as amended 2017 is hereby passed.
Distinguished members of BAA, the enactment of a constitution is a very serious affair, and that is why the you have now voted for you all, the General Assembly, to have a say in the making of your new constitution. So you must be it's a very serious business we are in now. It's a very serious session. So we have to pay attention and watch. Luckily enough, you have been given the copy of the old constitution so that you'll be able to look at the areas that are being sought to be amended. So you have to take it very serious and pay close attention to the proceedings.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can we have a motion for us to adopt the rules governing the review of the Constitution? And we need a seconder. So can we have a motion?
In view of the inadvertent omission in the 2017 Constitution and having carried the vote that it should be amended to include the AGM at the General Assembly of BA as the highest making body, I move that we so correct, we so receive the rules. My name is Teka Gamade 559 1973.
My name is Zachary Tenagwa. Admission number 2153. I rise to second the motion as moved by Teka Gamade that we adopt the rules that have been set for amending the Constitution of BA. I so move. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That is my able chairman of Abuja branch. Thank you, sir. The next stage involves an article-by-article consideration of the 2020 proposed constitution. Now, what we've done is this. We have juxtaposed the 2022 amendment proposal with the 2017 constitution. The changes that are being proposed in the 2022 constitution are vegged in red. Every other thing that is not in red was in the original or belongs to the original 2017 constitution. So we shall now take an article-by-article consideration and a consideration of the sub-articles too, to the articles, so that we can proceed. Voting, as I said, will be by show of hands. Where it is tight, the Chairman Board of Trustees shall call for a division or a poll. Can we commence? Let's commence with the preamble.
My name is Ngusha Gomto, number 993, 1978 set. The nomenclature of this association, as contained in the 2017 Constitution, which I have a copy before me, did not provide for BRISTOW Alumni Association worldwide. The copy I have before me, and I have seen worldwide on the table, on the board there as the nomenclature. I need some clarification.
The 2017 Constitution, as it presently stands, is what is guiding this assembly. What you see, the worldwide, is a proposal for the new Constitution 2022. So it means that it's a new provision for which we're going to consider in tandem with the old Constitution, and the General Assembly shall vote to proceed or approve or otherwise. That is why we have the yes or no vote. After a consideration of article by article and article sub-articles, the General Assembly, as the overall decision-making legislative and body, will decide. So what you have seen, if you see anything new, it is a proposal.
sorry, legal advisor. I think we are looking at the things in red, like you said. So hearing Elder Agomto well, he says that right from the first line, where we have red on worldwide, we should start from there, and according to him, we should take out worldwide. So that voting should start from, if we are starting with everything red, that is the first red thing there. And Agonto says that we should take a position on it before we go down. Yeah.
The Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni Association worldwide, as amended. Worldwide is the new term, the new phrase, as proposed.
Before we vote for this worldwide inclusion in the name of BA, it is good for us to be explained the committee that actually inserted it. They should tell us what informed it, so that we can understand whether we should vote yes or no. What actually informed the worldwide added to the BA nomenclature? If somebody can explain that to us, then we can be in a better position to vote.
Yeah.
On that score.
I think the expression worldwide has come about because members of this association are spread all over the world. They are not only limited to Nigeria. So we be like wherever they are covered. That's why we have to include them. We have to add them, have the phrase worldwide to incorporate them. I think that's what informed the introduction of that phrase. What is being conceptualized is that members of this association are now spread all over the world. And so where they are, they should be covered. That is why the phrase worldwide has come in. So whether you are in the United States or you are in Ukraine or anywhere, you are expected to be a member of this association.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman of the Constitution Review Committee. The Chairman, DOT told us that you had gone places. Katsinala, Old Boys Association from Alede, and you saw how the Constitution are actually written. Are you telling us that if the word wide is not captured there, BA as it is does not capture the members worldwide? Is that what you are saying? If we don't put the worldwide inscription, does it not, BA alone, does it cover all members worldwide? These are the areas we want classification, whether it must be there or not.
The board, in one of their meetings, submitted that the word wide be removed. The board submitted in one of the sittings that the word wide be removed completely. Thank you.
Who all those in support of the inclusion of the word worldwide should raise their hands. All in support. Fine. All those not in support of the inclusion, which means the deletion of worldwide, should raise their hands. So the nay have it. It is carried. Please delete it. Shall we consider the next article, please? The preamble of the association. The 2017 preamble reads, "We, the alumni of W.M. Bristol Secondary School, Boko, have resolved to establish the Alumni Association with a view to unite all students and to foster the onward development of our alma mater and her alumni. We do hereby make and give to ourselves the following constitution." There's a proposed amendment, verged in red, which says, We, the alumni of W.M. Bristol Secondary School, in General Assembly, having resolved to establish an association for our alma mater and peculiar to us, do hereby make and give unto ourselves the following constitution. Please, looking at the old provision, the 2017 Constitution, and the proposed one for the 2022 Constitution, do we approve the proposed amendment to make it better and peculiar to us? For those who are in favor, sir, I think you may be drawing us back. It's simply a question of yes vote, no vote. Can we check his observation, please?
My number is 1218. I'm looking at the preamble. We, the alumni of WM, we must first of all write that in full before we put that in commas. The WM should be written in full.
We'll go to the next item, which has some changes and which is verged in red. That is Article 8. This is the proposed change. As I pointed out earlier on, there was an egregious omission of the General Assembly as the highest decision-making and policy-making body. So the committee sought to correct this by the provision of this Article 8. It says, the association shall be made up of the following organs. 8.1, the General Assembly, which shall be the highest decision-making and legislative organ. This was omitted in the 2017 Constitution. Number 2, the Board of Trustees. Number 3, the National Executive. Number 4, the College of Past Presidents. 5, branches, and 6, sets. These are the organs of the association. Now we have them in full, which the General Assembly noted as the highest making body. Those in support, can we vote? Those in support, you say yes. Thank you. Those against? So, Article 8, subsections 1 to, sir? Yes, pass, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Go down. Go to the next one. EM to the next grade. Okay. And 8.1. So I'll have to read addition of. Okay. Please note that there's a new addition to Article 8.1. We added a new subsection J. And what we're saying is that, if I may read Article 8.1, A to J, so that you follow the flow. Just go there, Article. The executives of BAA, correct that. Remove that worldwide. Remove it. The executive of BAA shall consist of the executives of BAA shall consist of 1, the president; 2, the vice president; 3, which is C, the general secretary; D, the assistant general secretary; E, the treasurer; F, the financial secretary; G, the director of socials; H, the public relations officer; I, the legal advisor; J, 2 ex officio, the immediate past president, and 1 other member who shall be nominated by the General Assembly. Now, this is what the committee noted. The committee noted that, look, based on this provision is inelegant. For this reason, you do not expect that an immediate past president of the association will serve the incoming president. In what capacity? The outgoing president belongs to the College of Past Presidents, not to serve under the new president. An ex-official member, yes, just as we currently have a Letsegba serving in this executive, is appropriate. So we decided that the past president, the requirement for the past president to serve in the next ESCO should be removed. In that wise, J says that is one ex-official member of the previous ESCO, other than the past president, who shall be nominated by the General Assembly. So the past president is released to the College of Presidents and will not serve as an ex-official member under a current president. That is the proposal. So any other person other than the past president from the other administration can serve as an ex-official member in the new administration. Those in support, oh, sir? Sorry, gentlemen, Dr. Gumade, sir.
All protocols duly observed. I have a different opinion about the drop of the IPP. This is because worldwide, all forms of governments would usually, particularly when it is not a political government, you usually have a past president on the team of the current ESCO to be able to help. This is also in addition to the ex-official. I agree with J, the new J, for the ex-official. But the first J should be retained as IPP, being a member of the ESCO that is sitting. So that we have, instead of putting two ex-officials there, we have the IPP standing alone in his own right as a member, as a co-opted member of the current sitting ESCO. And then it becomes H. The new J becomes H, where one ex-official member is added to the ESCO.
If you may explain the term IPP.
The term IPP is the immediate past president. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your observation. You see, what happened is that, you see, if you go down further down into the Constitution, you will discover that the College of Past Presidents are automatically advisors to the current president.
There are some issues here that you must allow us to debate them before we even vote. If we are voting, we should understand clearly what we are voting for. The issue raised here would have been very simple. If I've been the national president of BA and I'm stepping down for any other person, I think, to me, I wouldn't like to come down to take an ex-official position in a substantive government. I operated and served BA at a higher level. Why must I come down? By protocol, it's not even right. So the issue of immediate past president being maybe a part of the ex-official of the incoming government, I think it should be ruled out completely. The past president has a role. Once you leave your office, you move into the college, you are admitted into the college of past presidents. Once you take oath of office, you become an organ of that. And from all indications, the College of Past Presidents is part of the governing body of this association. So we shouldn't expect a single person to operate at different levels in different capacities to cause confusion. So let's define these things very clearly. To me, I feel the clause should read such that if immediate past president, you'll be part of the College of Past Presidents. That's all. The incoming
ESCO or government, if they need your services, they can ask you to come and assist them. Nobody will disagree to serve. So it mustn't be so. So we should allow the General Assembly to nominate 2 ex-officials to be part of any incoming ESCO. That's my submission.
Thank you, sir.
The majority is clearly seen.
And just take note that about so. Then you inform. So please, can we have a vote on this provision? Those in support.
Sorry, Eli. May I make a contribution? I speak as a person, not as the president. I find the recommendation for 7 personal assistants unwieldy. It is almost like government, you know. So I don't find it necessary, speaking personally, not as the national president, because it comes with a lot of other responsibilities that you may not contemplate now. And then the issue of head girl and head boy, yes, if you've done 1 year, you are qualified, but that is after you've graduated. So I think, speaking personally, I think that I don't see the need for that provision, speaking personally.
Okay. Hands. Not a voice vote, sir. A show of hands. Those in support, those against, raise your hands. The nays have it. Strike it out. The nays have it, sir. The nays have it. Yes, sir. Strike it out. So, okay. There is a new proposal in Article 819, and this has come from a couple of branches, which have suggested that the office of the legal advisor shall be an elective position, and in accordance with the duties of the legal advisor in the former constitution, continues that with no change. But the proposal is that the office of the legal advisor should be an elective position, not an appointed one. Those in support? Those in support? Vote.
The chairman and members, I seem to have followed us, but when the president spoke, based on the advice he had sought and got, and you, the coordinator, started to and decided to speak as a lawyer and not as someone holding this position here. You introduced to me a lacuna when you talked of if the legal advisor is appointed, he will not be partial. If elected, he will be partial. I think the opposite is the case. If I appoint you, you are directly answerable to me, and you defend my cause wherever you are called upon to do so. So if the position is going to be appointable, we have to define whether it is the ESCO or the president or the General Assembly that will do the appointments. Leaving it fluid like that is still subject to many interpretations. And I think it's better we clarify it at this point.
Thank you, sir, for that very erudite observation. And on this basis, we'll throw it open to the House. What is your position? What do you think? Appointment by whom? If it is appointable, if it's elected, if it is an electable position, how do you go about it?
I stand by the existing protocol. The ESCO will submit the nominees to the General Assembly. They will ratify and get maybe 2-3 names to the General Assembly, they will be debated, and one will be selected as the legal advisor of the association.
Thank you, sir. That is very wise, sir.
Before, during conventions here, conventions sometimes ended without any legal advisor getting any nomination. The ESCO was always mandated to source for a legal advisor and report back. Because the few lawyers who were there, some will say they are too engaged to accept the offer. That is the background that brought us to all these things that you see in the previous constitution. But now that BRISTOW has a pool of lawyers to draw from, I know one thing that lawyers don't compromise is about their seniority. I say this with no sense of responsibility because I was the first non-lawyer to head the legal department of my organization. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you nominate 3 lawyers here to come and stand for election, I bet you they will look at among themselves and say, no, the most senior should go ahead and take that position. So, to me, putting this thing to an election will just be an exercise in futility. Thank you very much.
I stand on existing protocols. I want to make an observation concerning the issue of legal advisors. Yes, we have a pool of lawyers in BA, but not all of them know anything about BA. This is what we should consider in selecting those who might be out of them are selected. Because most of them, maybe if you just go and bring them up, they have never attended even a set meeting, though they are lawyers. And when they come to lead us here, they will mislead us completely. Let us appoint people who are within BA, who are working with BA, who are following BA, so that they will know how to advise us legally. I rest my case.
There's a new proposal, section 81B, on the tenures of the executives of BA. The proposal is as follows. The executive shall hold office for a term of 3 years and shall be subject to re-election re-election at the end of their tenure for a further time of 3 years and no more. This proposal came, I remember, from Boko branch, was supported by one other branch, and it was sent out. Some of the branches felt that 2 years is too short a term for executives to make an impact, and so suggested 3 years instead of 2.
I think the 2 years that we have is enough because there is provision for reappointment or re-election. So if you add 2 to 2, you get 4, and 4 years should be reasonably enough. There is no need, personally, see no reason why we should increase it to 3, and then if we have to ask them to go for a second tenure, then it becomes 6 years. That will be rather too lengthy, especially when you have wrong hands in there.
Sir, if I may say, thank you for your contributions.
Mr. President, the BO team, Mr. President, the rest of us, good afternoon. It is a constitutional matter and it's best to be very clear about it. There shouldn't be any ambiguity about interpretation of any of the sentences here. And therefore, it's either the seal stays with the president, and then I will add this, and the board shall also supervise the use of the seal. I would suggest that the board, a legal terminology there that shows that the board must know when the seal is used, one way or another. But the board can only stay with the president, or it should stay with the board. I am for the board, the seal staying with the president. Thank you.
I just wanted to point out to us that I think this provision already is complete as it is, and it does not even bring a conflict to the decision of the House that the seal stays with the president. Because if you read what it says there, it says all property of the association shall be vested in the Board of Trustees, which is already what it's supposed to be. Incidentally, I work for an organization that is led by the Board of Trustees, and exactly that's the way it is. All the property are owned by the Board of Trustees. And then it says, we shall administer same as directed by resolutions of the General Assembly. And the General Assembly here today resolved that the seal should actually be with the President, which I think is also in line with this provision. So I think it's already done. I think as it is, it's fine.
Okay.
And I think the General Assembly can from time to time say, for this property that is vested in the Board of Trustees, let this person use it on behalf of the Board of Trustees. So I think it is still clear, and I think it still covers us. Thank you very much.
The board selects who is their chairman with no external person involved. So the board may choose, this is our chairman today, this is our vice today, and so on. When you go to corporate affairs to register or update the records of an association like ours, like we just did, there is a provision amongst the trustees for secretary. So this board has a secretary amongst yourselves in corporate affairs. When we are saying president should be secretary, this is for administrative convenience. The secretary, the president, who should be a younger person to our board, should be the one to take notes, but should never have conflict tomorrow to go and say that I was the secretary. In the corporate affairs, the board has their chairman and a secretary. I thought I should say that. So I don't wake up tomorrow and contest with the secretary at CAC that, no, I was the secretary. This is for administrative convenience. I thought I should throw some light on that as well. Thank you.
Yes, the Board of Trustees. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a new proposal for Article 8.3, College of Past Presidents. And it is to the effect that, that's Article 8.3. There shall be a College of Past Presidents, CPP, whose duty shall be to give advice to the executive, full stop. All past presidents shall be members of the college. The college shall have a chairman and secretary to be chosen amongst them. The college of past presidents shall admit a new member to the college based on his good standing record of service. Those in support? Thank you. Those against this provision? The yeas have it, sir. The yeas have it, sir. Yeah. It passes, sir. Yeah. In its Article 5, it says members of the Electoral Committee shall be nominated to the General Assembly by the Board of Trustees. In a similar manner, go up. The Audit Committee, members of the Audit Committee shall be nominated to the General Assembly by the Board of Trustees. Those in favor of these provisions, those in favor of the provision, sorry, I know you're tired, but it has to be done. Show of hands, please. Thank you. Those not in support? Those not in support? So these two provisions, they pass. The provisions pass, sir. Thank you. All right. Article 13 on elections. There is Article 13.3.4 added. 5.6. So Article 13.3 says, any registered and financially up-to-date member and proven as registered at any branch of the association, endorsed and nominated by any 10 registered members of the General Assembly can obtain the form for any post he or she wishes to contest. So for you to contest, you must be financially up-to-date, and you have to show that you are a registered member of a branch. You have to be proven. Your branch will vouch for you. And to that end, you're going to have 10 people nominating you for that position. Some of them will come from your branch, some will be from your set, but we need 10 people at least nominating you. 13.4. There shall be a citation to the General Assembly of the curriculum vitae of each candidate contesting in any elective position. We need to know those standing, what their records are. 13.5. Where only one candidate obtains a form after endorsement and nomination for a particular post, such a candidate is deemed to have been elected unopposed. 6. Where a post is contestable at any convention or becomes contestable from a vacancy after the election and during the duration of any exco, the General Assembly invites 10 or more members of a branch and set shall nominate and endorse in writing a proven registered member from any branch with his or her consent, and such a member shall obtain the election form for the said post. So you just have to get nominated by members from your branch, and you are set, at least 10 people for you to contest an election. And you must be proven to be a member of a branch. Does these provisions, do they pass? Yes? Okay, thank you. Any opposing voices to this? Okay, thank you. So, for one to contest, your branch must recognize you. Yes, pass, sir, pass.
Having observed that most of the knotty issues in the Constitution have been treated, and knowing very well that what is remaining is not of any controversial standing, I, as in Sambede, will move that the Constitution be passed.
Please, again.
Past President.
Not a name. Who's the secretary? Who's recording? Can we have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I rise to second the motion.
Mr. Chairman, sir, this is why you play the last part of it. You ask this question, sir. Has the General Assembly of BRISTOW Alumni Association resolved, which has been considered article? Okay. You can read it out. It says, has the General Assembly of BRISTOW Alumni Association resolved to pass the Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni Association 2022, which has been considered article by article, where the answer is affirmative, you will just announce. If they say yes, you announce the Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni 2020 is hereby passed. Your gavel. Yes, sir. So this is a question. This is a question start. This is a question from here, from the bold one, sir.
Mr. President and members, has the General Assembly of BRISTOW Alumni Association resolved to pass the Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni Association 2022, which has been considered article by article? The Constitution of BRISTOW Alumni Association 2022 is hereby passed.
Bishop Biana Kanambier, Unambier, Pakwashi Bunda, Bishop Biana Kanambier, Unambier, Pakwashi Bunda, Bishop Biana Kanambier. Unambier Pakwashi Bunda, Bishop Biana Kanambier, Bishop Biana Kanambier, Bishop Biana Kanamvirna, Unamviri Kwakwashi Gwenda. Ijozwa Temayana Uza, Mtemanguku Adoshima, Vetemayama Ikwekua, Katemamangu, Bagbila Refeyuae, Uimowama Jokoyoka, Director General Mepaso, Inyomotahu, Mangweti Amayana Sembele, Ilushado Shima, Mzoba, Samparene Angbanga, Balunene Mzo Mama. Me pasi wanu baba, mtemyangu, jozwangu ko adoshima, ihome desa, kalene towenga, vawane nongu se dondu, shamana se odenga, President General Oba, wodu wadu etem chashakano salum, Mzo ba alukeni mzo mama mvakame wane kwa nemba nelukire jige obi oti nezo acho nerama presidento BRISTOW Alumni Association chimana self-denga Manase kwa ikizukuti komite babelo he one ya ishagba kwazi komushana gunana dingi ngukuwa sekretari janara David nyita ngukuwa tocha Madam Guvere ukangi mguso wekuwa shiomba gene pa